Hello, and welcome to Tea and Cornbread, a conversation with Sean and Tracy. I am Sean,
And I'm Tracy.
and we are talking to you all that are 50 and fabulous.
And don't forget handsome.
And we want you to know that we want to get some education happening,
Yes.
some empowerment.
We want to grow with you. We want to learn with you. We want to see what you're doing, 50 and over.
So like, share, comment, follow, subscribe,
Grab your
and
tea.
grab your tea. Hey, everybody. It's Tea and
Yes.
Cornbread. What's
Welcome
up?
back. Welcome
yes,
back.
welcome back. Oh my goodness, this is what?
Tea and
Women's
Cornbread? Oh.
Women's History Month.
Yes.
And I'm so excited about our guest today.
Yes.
Because she's making history. All right. She's making history. We'll talk about that in a minute. But yes, so let's do what we do. Let's read our devotional. Then we're going to do our breathing. And then we're going to jump on in.
We're going to jump on in. So
Yes.
I'm going to read from Jesus Calling, right?
Okay. Yep.
Okay. Jesus Calling. Rest in my radiant presence. The world around you seems to spin faster and faster till everything is a blur. Yet there is a cushion of calm at the center of your life, where you live in union with me. Return to this, soothing as often as you can, for this is where you are energized, filled with my love, joy, and peace. The world is a needy place. Do not go there for substance. Instead, come to me. Learn to depend on me alone, and your weakness will become saturated with my power. When you find the completeness in me, you can help others without using them to meet your own needs. Live in the light of my presence, and your light will shine brightly into the lives of others. Yes,
Right.
yes.
That's a word.
That's
Yes.
a word. That's a word. All right. So, Trey, how was your weekend?
Oh my goodness, my weekend was awesome.
Okay.
It really was. You know what I did yesterday?
What did you do?
I went to Orlando's, had the women's award ceremony yesterday. It was so awesome. One of the young ladies, there was 5 phenomenal young women of color that were on there. And we went because, and I'm sorry, I had a little,
You're good.
okay.
Go ahead.
And
moving.
one of the young ladies, we all went from the gym.
Oh,
Our
okay.
trainer, Caitlin Green, was honored. So we all went.
Oh.
It was just a wonderful time. Whatever Orlando touches, just to
Yeah.
me, she does a phenomenal job.
Yeah.
So that was an awesome thing. We did the 5K, so we walked around. We just broke bread,
Yeah.
had conversation.
Had
We listened to
fellowship.
those women's phenomenal stories. We're getting ready to listen to the doctor that we have
Yes,
sitting here to my
yes.
right. That's what I did this weekend.
All right.
Awesome
all
thing.
right.
We
But
jumped
that
rope.
sounds
We
like
did
a
hula
really
hoop.
good experience.
It was. It was
Yeah.
fun. You know,
There's
you never
nothing
know who
like
you're gonna meet.
Being in a space
Being in a space
with like-minded folk.
Isn't that the-
Absolutely.
You know what
that
I'm
is
saying?
so
Mhm.
true.
Sharing, and like you said, breaking bread.
Breaking bread and
then
having
con-
conversation,
Absolutely.
making new
Absolutely.
friends. You just never know who you
That's
will
it.
meet and how it's gonna affect your life.
Yeah.
It was
yeah,
awesome.
Yeah.
And what about
awesome.
you? What did you do, my dear?
I didn't do anything yesterday, but the week was cool. Starting
Mm-hmm.
off with Black Game Night that happened in New Haven. Shout
Woo
out
woo.
to the Fun Size Diva, aka Cheyenne Barboza,
AKA her baby.
Yeah.
yes.
that did Black Game Night in New Haven at Jazzy Cabarets, and it was another time of fun.
Let me tell y'all
know.
something. I'm gonna interrupt her. Come and have
A
game
good
night.
time.
We
She
had
does
an
it.
awesome time. I didn't know what to expect. Let me tell you something. I was cool, calm, and collected. But next time,
She sure
But you gotta
was,
make
and
sure
that
Sean
was
knows
not.
I don't like to lose. I'm a competitor, but I was kind of, I'm coming. Next time I'm coming.
Yeah.
I love a good game night.
Absolutely.
you gotta
Let me
come
tell
join
you,
us
you
if
got to
you
do it.
can.
It happens every first Thursday of the month at Jazzy Cabarets in New Haven, and it is a great time
Yes.
about Black culture.
That sounds like
It's
some-
trivia.
that
It's
sounds like
Black
someplace I
culture
wanna be.
trivia. I'm telling you.
Yes.
And you learn
Yes.
some stuff because the little girl, I'm like, who knows that, right?
Listen,
But
she
we
makes
learned
you-
it
when you
after.
walk away,
Yeah,
you
we,
feel like
yeah,
walking
we,
away.
yes,
Yeah, with
yes.
she makes you want to go when you leave there. You be thinking you know some stuff.
Yeah,
Go
you
read a
gotta go
book.
home, right?
Go read a book
Read
because
a
you
book.
don't know what you
Go
don't
read a
know.
book.
And she
Exactly.
really let us know.
Right.
Exactly. So
Right.
that was fun.
Yes.
And then we went to Soulfully Vegan
Oh.
restaurant in Berlin, and
Okay.
they've been going viral. You know, they started off in a food truck and all of that, and we went there, and that was fun. Me and Tracy I said, Trey,
Yes.
let's just go.
Vegan.
And vegan
Yes.
cuisine,
It was
right?
good.
It was good. It was takeout, takeout
Yes.
spot, little tiny
Listen, it
spot.
was takeout, but me and Sean sat in.
Yeah, we sat in.
They allowed y'all.
Yep. And then we did live with the owner real quick,
Yes.
and we didn't know what we was doing, so we just give us
Yes,
just
bear
give
with
us some
us on
grace.
that.
We
Bear with
just-
us.
Listen.
Because I
But-
got some feedback on our little live.
Yeah,
but it's okay.
yeah,
That's
it's-
why we do it.
we-
Because we don't know
listen.
what we're doing and we're
Absolutely.
learning.
And
Right.
feedback and constructive criticism.
Is
That's
we'll
good.
take
Exactly.
it. Yes.
So
Yes.
so
You
that
out
was
there doing it.
fun. We just had fun for the last few days. Yes. Hold on, our producer's coming in the house. Something ain't right. I'm too close to the mic? Okay. All right, I was too close to the mic, y'all. So anywho,
Yeah.
so I just had some real good fun this week.
Listen,
you
I'm
know?
glad
And
you
Double Dutch,
talked
hold
about
on,
that.
Double Dutch. I was getting back to
Oh,
Double
yeah.
Dutch.
Yes.
Double Dutch
We
on
was
Wednesday.
busy Wednesday, Thursday,
yes,
and Friday.
Yes.
Yes.
So
you
my
went-
week was great.
Yeah.
So you were jumping double dutch
Oh,
this week?
oh wait, you don't
we
know
do
about
on
that?
Wednesdays at 6
Every
o'clock.
Wednesday, 6:00 at the
Oh,
North End Recreation
Okay.
Center.
Okay.
You jump?
All right. Is that an invitation?
Oh,
Absolutely.
yes.
I
Come on
jump.
down.
Absolutely.
Come on
That's
down.
an
I
invitation.
turn too. Because
Oh,
not
yeah.
everybody can turn.
That's true.
Yeah, because
Because some people are double-handed.
You-
Right.
Oh,
right.
We won't do that. We
Come
don't do
on
that.
down.
Okay.
So
Come on
listen, that's
down.
another thing that Orlando Brantley has started in Waterbury
Yes.
for women 40 and up.
Okay.
All right.
I qualify.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
By 10 plus.
Exactly,
But, you know,
right?
Yes.
And
yes.
and we did that on Wednesday.
Mhm.
Great fun. You know what I mean?
Awesome.
Like old school for real. Double
Okay.
dutching, hula
All right.
hooping,
With music and
with
everything?
music and everything.
What?
Stop.
You
Okay.
ain't seen the videos. You need to go check out
No.
40 Plus.
Yeah.
No.
We're
Okay.
gonna-
Check us
we're
out.
gonna-
All
We're
right.
gonna share it with you on
All
Facebook.
right. There we go. Okay.
Come
All
on
right.
down.
I'm there, y'all.
Mhm.
Yes.
I'm there.
Come on down. So that, right?
Yes.
So
Good.
my week was great. My
Yeah.
week was great.
Our week
So-
was great. Now that
Yes.
you're reminded of
Good.
everything I did.
Exactly. You were there. You were
was
in the
there.
house.
I
And yes,
was.
tea and cornbread was in the streets when we went to
Streets.
we were in the
Yes.
streets. So we're trying to like
These streets and-
have that
Evolve and get
going.
our
Yeah,
faces out there and
yeah.
stuff. Yeah.
Yep. All right.
Definitely.
So now that we recapped our
Yes.
week,
Let's introduce our
no,
guest.
we're gonna do our breathing.
Oh,
Breathing.
We're gonna
I
show our-
apologize.
Yes, we're gonna do our breathing.
Let's do our breathing.
Yes. So I have peppermint. I don't think that's what I wanted, but I got it.
That's okay.
So 1 drop of
I
peppermint.
I already put
Check
my
out clarity.
I already put my
Clarity.
clarity
Okay.
on, so
Check
I'm
it out.
good.
Let's see.
Okay.
I know you put the
Lavender.
peppermint and lavender, on,
Lavender.
right? Just 1 drop.
Okay.
Okay. And then we're inhaling our intent for this conversation today, and we're going to exhale anything that doesn't serve us, all that doesn't serve us. One more time. If you were
There's
asleep,
nothing
you woke
like it.
now.
Yeah.
Oh, nothing like it. Filling your lungs.
Yes,
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 yes.
yes. And your brain, you just feel all of
right,
that going, that
yes.
oxygen going straight to the brain. All right. So I really am so excited about this conversation. We've been talking. We talked back in what? Probably November.
November.
Yeah,
November. Mhm.
yeah. And talking about all kinds of things. So we're gonna do a 3-part series
goodness.
with Dr. Tawana Graham Douglas. Okay, so I'm gonna read a little snippet about who we have, our honored guest today, in honor of Women's History. This woman is making history. All right. We're going to talk about how she went from Wood Street, Waterbury,
Wood
North
Street.
End, woo,
Yeah.
woo,
Walnut,
right?
walnut in the house.
Walnut and wood, right? Walnut, orange wood.
That's it.
You know,
That's it.
and to Dr. Tawana Graham Douglas.
You guys are too kind.
Dr. Tawana Graham Douglas is currently the Director for Curriculum Instruction and Assessment in Plainville Community Schools. Tawana has over 28 years of experience in education and 16 of those years as a classroom teacher. She has also served in various other capacities, including building principal, curriculum coordinator, head teacher, instructional coach, summer program coordinator, after-school program supervisor, and fiscal manager at the University of Connecticut. Oh my goodness. So we're going to let her talk about her interests and all of that, right? But I want to just tell about our connection.
Yes, please
We
do.
grew up together.
Yes.
And like I said, I've been a hairdresser in this community forever, right? From high school until, just a
Yes.
couple years ago when I quote unquote retired. And but she was in my chair.
All the time.
We were doing hair, shop talk, going out to the club.
That's right.
Doing
That's
all of that,
right.
growing
That's
up
right.
together.
That's right.
Right? And so when we reconnected recently, when I'm like, Doctor, okay, wait a minute. Then I saw you. And then it's like, okay. And then how much of a small world it is. She has taught my granddaughter,
Oh, nice.
our oldest granddaughter. She goes to school in Plainville. And so when we talked about that and was like reminiscing about the good old days, that's what we want to talk about today.
And can I just interject one? I don't know if you even remember this one.
Okay.
But I don't know if you remember because we used to wear Jerry curls back.
Yes.
Right? Remember that? 'Cause
Yes.
I had a nice
I built my
Jerry
clientele
curl.
on Jerry curls.
It was nice.
Jerry curls and
It
finger
was
waves.
made. It was yes, exactly right. And we used to reverse those Jerry curls.
Yeah.
One day I roll up in the shop because I'm all big and bad, probably all of 15 years old, and I'm like, Sean, I think I want my hair reversed and I want it dyed. Do you remember this one?
No,
You remember when you?
I don't.
Oh Lord!
I don't.
So she reverses it. So now it's nice and straight. And then she dyed it. It was like this auburn color. It was bad. Bad meaning good. Not
No,
bad
no.
meaning bad, but bad meaning good.
I
Right?
got you.
It
Sean's
was
face is looking like
beautiful. And then I got a little asymmetrical cut too. I was salt and pepper in it all. Like, okay, if salt and pepper was a person, that was it,
right.
that was you combined.
Absolutely. I go home.
You got in trouble.
Ooh, child.
You got in trouble.
See, I think this is going to be part of the conversation too when we're
You got
talking
in
about
trouble.
community.
You ain't even got to tell me.
But yeah. So my mother was like, "I'm sorry. You went where
To do what?
to do what with who?" And told her to and But the thing is, we went out to like Masonic Temple or something like that night. I got so many compliments on how good my hair looked. Who did your hair? Who did your hair? Sean. Sean did my hair. Sean did my hair.
You was looking
And then
fabulous.
then I bet you probably got a whole bunch of people that wanted to
probably did.
reverse and dye and cut
Yes,
and
no,
asymmetrical and layer.
I don't remember that. But
you were an absolutely amazing hairdresser, an amazing friend, an amazing person, and a mentor of sorts. You know what I mean? Sitting in your chair. So I know sometimes people, think about going to the salon and it's like we doing this, that, and the other, and all that other
I was
stuff.
going to say a
but-
counselor too.
yeah, a counselor. So that's what I was going to say. So there was a space there that you provided a space for us young women
Comfort.
to come together. It was like, we talk about psychological safety now where I could be myself and I could be real and I can talk and I can say. And, not everybody was providing that space, right? Sometimes you go into the older shops or you go into some messy shops, I guess you would call that today. But no, you created a space for young women. So I just want to make sure that you have your flowers at this point in time, because without you, it's because of you that so many of us young women older women at this point, you know, were able to grow and
Almost
develop.
seasoned.
And so thank you. Thank you for creating that space.
Yeah.
I
Because
thank
you're
you.
part of this story.
Okay, I thank you. I appreciate that. I'm you know, they say thank you, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just gonna say thank you and not deflect because we
Don't-
deflect
I know
a
what
lot.
I know what you was getting ready to say.
Exactly,
Really, I know what Sean
You
wants
know
to go,
what?
but thank you for not
Yes,
going there.
yes, I thank you.
Because I think it's always what we always want to do. Like,
Yeah.
oh, no, but it was
Well,
nothing.
yeah,
It was da-da-da-da-da.
yeah.
But I just
But
want to
it
be in
all-
this space to say that we can never downplay what you created.
Okay,
Right?
I thank
So
you.
take it.
I take it.
Let it
I
wash
take
all
it.
over you.
I thank you. I thank you. But it's about you right now.
Okay, I'll take it.
It's and
That might have been a bit of deflection.
it's-
I'm just saying.
No.
I'm just saying.
But I'll
we
take
all need
it.
therapy at this point.
Yeah, absolutely. And listen, and this is therapeutic. This is a
Absolutely.
This definitely
therapeutic
is.
space.
Absolutely.
It is.
You know, and so I'm excited to hear about Miss Dr.
Mm-hmm.
Tawana Douglas. And because we have these stories, right? And we have these young people that that need to hear it and need to know that no matter your circumstance,
Right. Absolutely.
no matter your circumstance, it's possible, right? And we have infinite possibilities because even as a 50-something-year-old, because we're considered seasoned now,
Yeah.
right? Seasoning, because we ain't
Right,
seasoned.
right.
Seasoning, right?
Right.
You know, because when we think about right, you know, and thinking about, you know, all the things that we are accomplishing and come from, because we don't all tell our stories, right?
Right.
And everyone looks at you as doctor, and they look at you like,
It's
I
always
can't
been this
be
way.
that because you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's not the case, you know? And so I'm glad that you brought up us, you know, when we were younger, providing that or allowing that space to happen, that safe space to happen, which came from our grandparents, our, you know what I mean?
Right.
The
That's
women
right.
in the community,
That's right.
our village, period. We talk about
Yes,
village all the time.
Yes.
Our village, and that's where that came from. It was allowed for me, and so it just happened naturally for others. And I don't ever want anyone to feel unsafe or, you know, like they can't be who they
Absolutely.
are, because we all are individuals, and collectively we're powerful.
Absolutely.
You know, and
If we
so
had any idea
if we
how powerful.
listen, even still today, right?
Absolutely.
And this is another reason why we're doing this podcast, is because you're 50 now. What, right? Powerful, and being able to show that you came from the north end of Waterbury. You know, they always discount us. You
Right.
know,
Right.
Waterbury. You know, but there's so many amazing people that come out of Waterbury.
Smart,
that Waterbury,
educated.
Absolutely.
amazing, right?
Men and women, yes.
Men and
Absolutely.
women, and we want to. That's
Absolutely.
why we want to highlight those, right? And then I laugh because sometimes you don't know who you know,
Right.
because you know I've known Tawana all my life, right?
Yeah.
And then when reading this, I'm like, oh, that's the one. Oh, we need to learn more, right? And I'm hoping that anyone out there that's looking, because it doesn't matter how old you are, you became doctor when? Recently.
Yes.
So age doesn't matter.
That's right. That's right.
Age doesn't matter,
aspect.
right?
You never stop learning. That's
Exactly.
what we have to remember.
Age doesn't matter. And the passion you have for children,
Yes. And
right?
education.
And
learning.
education.
Right. Right.
And education comes in all different forms.
That's right.
And that's what I love too. Education
Yes.
comes in all different forms. I've had people ask me all the time, are you Greek? And I'm like, no, I don't even have a degree. But if you pull all my certificates
That's
and
it.
advanced
That's it.
education and everything together, I have a PhD.
That's it.
Okay.
Do you know what I
That's it.
mean?
That's
Okay,
it.
Brian
so
the
That's
second.
what I'm
when
talking about.
exactly. And so education comes in different forms. So when we're talking to those people out there, specifically those young ladies out there that have a dream and think, or they're in an environment that doesn't foster that dream,
Right.
what do you do?
It's within your grasp. It is within. It's all within your grasp.
Exactly. So
Yeah.
Dr. Tawana Graham Douglas.
I like the way that sounds.
Yes,
bit, a
yes.
little
We gotta
bit.
take it.
No.
We gotta take it slow. Gotta take it slow, right? Who are you?
You know, if I can just kind of pick up on what you were saying. First of all, if I can do it, anybody can do it. Like, you know, it's
Talk closer to the mic.
if I can do it, anybody can do it. And it's this idea of having guidance and opportunity. I think sometimes what happens in some communities, in some spaces, that the guidance isn't there, right? So you don't know what you don't know,
Right,
Exactly.
right.
Until somebody is there and points a direction. Or we actually have an opportunity to see ourselves, right? So I need to see what I can be. Now, I know I can be what I can be a police officer. I can be, you know, a mayor. I can be any of those things. But quite often it's somebody that doesn't quite look like me
That's
in
so
that
important.
space.
Yes.
So but we've been told you can be whatever you want to be. But now the moment that I see
Right.
myself,
Right.
the moment that I see someone who looks like me, she's a female, she's African American, she's black, whatever you want to call her, right?
Right.
And she is in that space, then I can almost imagine myself
That is
in that
I
space.
see my
too,
face. I see my face.
Right?
And I think that is so
Representation
important. Yes.
matters, right?
It does.
Chimamanda Adichie Ngozi became famous a few years ago when she did the TED Talk around a single story, right? And how, you know, a single story doesn't necessarily mean that it promotes a stereotype, but it promotes this idea. It's not a complete story. It's not a full story. So you may look at someone and just think you know their story, but you don't know their complete story
Right.
until you talk to them. You know, so I will say to the idea of coming from the hood, that is something that I am so proud of. Using the term hood, even the term, I know sometimes, you know, it's controversial about ghetto and all that other kind of stuff. It's controversial. But where I grew up, so even before coming to Connecticut, I was born in Brooklyn, New York.
Oh, okay.
And I was there until I was about 12 years old, right? And so you would call that ghetto, you know, you would call that hood. And then the question is, can anything good come out of the hood? And I'm here to tell you,
Yes.
great things come out of the
Absolutely.
hood. Just
Great things
let's
are
just,
in the
Let's
hood.
just be
How
clear.
about that?
But a lot of
Absolutely.
great things have come
let's
out
just,
of the
you know,
hood.
so first of all, don't let anybody tell you about where you come from.
Right.
Don't let anybody tell you that this can't be done. You just read something that says, you know what, in our weakness.
In our
Yes.
weakness.
Yes.
That's where God comes in and shows up. So that's what I feel like surrounds my story. So ever since he's been there, there's that song that goes, he's been there all the time. Waiting patiently in line. He's been there all the time. Even when I didn't know. So going back to Brooklyn, school was important. I lived in a community. School was important. My grandmother raised us and she walked me to school every day. We had community schools and the expectation was that you go and learn. And every day that I came home, she would just ask me about what I learned. Coming here to Connecticut, there was something that was a little different about Connecticut. It seemed a little more segregated. Right? So when I came to Waterbury, it was very clear who lived in Town Plot, who lived up
Right.
Highland Avenue,
Yes.
who lived up Lakewood, who lived off of Bishop Street, who lived, you know, it was segregated.
That is absolutely
Right?
true.
And it was a culture shock for me because, listen, in Brooklyn, as you know, first of all, New York City is a melting pot. So you know that there was a whole lot of
Different.
Everybody.
different ethnicities, different religions. I mean, we went to school blocks away from where Hasidic Jewish children went to school. So every Friday, we didn't see anyone. Saturday morning, everyone walking,
Right.
all in black and white with the tendrils, the tendrils. So what I'm saying by that is that it was a very diverse community in New York City, and there was a lot of interaction between communities and between individuals within the community. You got to know people. You got to understand a little bit about their culture, or a little bit about their religion. And then coming to Connecticut was a little different because it was so segregated and so separated. But what happened was when we went to school, there was this opportunity to get to know even more people. So I went to Wilby High School. Go Wildcats, right? And at that point in time, it was predominantly white, which I think, I've spoken to a couple of people. I've looked up demographics. Wilby is predominantly African American at this point,
Okay.
and Hispanic, right? So it's a different day. It looks differently today than it did back then. But the idea was that that was the only place that there was some interaction with people that were different and things of that nature. So, going back to coming from Wood Street, it's this idea that we were in a place that was predominantly Black, majority when we went home, but then went to this space where there was, there were educators and there were individuals. Now, some of the kids that didn't look like us, they were talking about going on to college, right? That wasn't always the conversation that we were having in the neighborhood, right? So education was important, right? But not a lot of people had gone or could tell you, but then there was this influx in our generation of people who were saying, I'm going to HBCUs, I'm going to Hampton, I'm going to Virginia, I'm going to, all of these other different colleges. And so that began to intrigue me. So I went home and I was talking to my parents about wanting to go to college. My mother had done a couple of semesters at Naugatuck Valley, but at that time it was Mattituck. Absolutely. And so she was excited, and she's like, okay, so here's some of the things that you can do. Now, my father, on the other hand, had he graduated high school and he had no college experience, but he had life experience. So kudos to what you're talking about, right? Like, I have a PhD because I've been walking around here. You know what I mean? Living life.
Oh, no.
And paying attention.
I've taken advanced classes.
See?
I go to classes. I have college credits.
That's what I'm talking about. But that's what I'm talking.
Right.
You know what I mean?
And I came from a Votech school.
See?
So, you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
So, yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And those types of things are extremely important as well.
Absolutely.
And it's for, individuals to say, you know what? You need advanced education.
Oh, absolutely.
Right?
I'm still today, I'm taking classes.
Prepare yourself. So that was kind of one of the commonalities that came back then, is that they were like, okay, you know what? You need to do something, right? You need to, and that something most of the time meant gainful employment. You need to go to work. You need to get a job. Not just a job, but a good job, right? And so so I'm laying the foundation. That's kind of like where it all began. This idea that my family wanted me to, go to school. And then to say, you know what, UConn's not a bad place to go. And so that's how I started. And then, to be perfectly honest, after I graduated, I really wanted to go to law school.
Okay.
And so my husband at the time, he was my boyfriend, Julius Douglas. We went to, I said, I either want to go to Georgetown or I want to go to Harvard.
Okay.
So we took a trip to DC, and we took a trip up there to Boston and Cambridge. And we sat down with the folks in the registrar's office and found out about how much it costs. And like,
shock, right?
Honey, we don't have that kind of money. So what are you going to do? So someone suggested, why don't you just go get a teaching degree? And you know what? You can get there's a program at the University of New Haven where you can earn your master's degree and teacher certification at the same time. You just have to intern at a school in a district, which ended up being Plainville. And then you can work a couple of years and save up your money. I walked into Wheeler Elementary School in Plainville, Connecticut, and I literally felt as if I were walking on air.
Really?
It was this feeling of, this is where I'm supposed to be.
Oh, okay.
God is always Always.
He makes a way.
Always.
Right? He makes a way for
Always.
you. He lays out your
Providing,
path.
Yes. the
Right?
path.
So I go and I interview with the principal of the school at that time. His name was Mr. Graffam, and he says, "We need you here." And I was like, "Oh, you need me here? That's so nice. I like to hear to be needed." Right?
Mm-hmm.
He was like, children and their families, not just children, their families and the community need to see you. Right? He said, they watch the news, they read the Hartford Courant, and they may think that you are one thing, but they need to get to know that you are something different.
Yes.